Hello, everybody. John French here, and for our digital tool this week, I'll be telling you a little bit about Checkology.org by the News Literacy Project. This is taken from Common Sense Media, but it's a succinct description of Checkology, which is a news and media literacy learning platform created by the News Literacy Project. Checkology's aim is to help students more critically navigate today's ever-changing media and digital landscape. The platform essentially includes pre-made video lectures, activities, and formative assessments to help students detect media messages, their biases, and any mal, or misinformation contained within those messages. Some things that I love about this platform. Awesome things. It is free to use. So if you're ever creating a budget, you can show your administration that, hey, I'm not just asking for money all the time. I'm actually utilizing free tools for our students. I love that it's easy to maintain student records. You, as the educator, as the teacher, can log into your dashboard and see how your students are completing the activities. Are they completing them successfully, or are they struggling? I love that you can have multiple classes so that you can separate things kind of like in a Google Classroom. You can see how a particular class is doing. Another element about Checkology that I really love is that you can sort of utilize the Checkology resources however you like. I think it's generally meant to be like individually run for students to work on the modules one-on-one or independently. For my recent technology-rich lesson plan for 516, I had students complete the modules in pairs, and I also suggested that you can probably have students complete these as a class. So it's really depending on how much work you as the educator want to put into the assignments. You can be as creative as you want, or if you need something that is more student-led and independent work, this is also a great tool. Finally, a lot of the examples that Checkology offers, that students are evaluating and analyzing together, are really authentic pieces of media. A lot of the articles are things that they've probably seen on the internet or they remember seeing in recent news. So that's one thing I really love, is that it's not, taking articles from 1991 and having students look at them. They're really authentic pieces of media. So now I'd like to take you just kind of on a brief tour of Checkology to point out some of my favorite features and give you an understanding of what the technology really looks like. This is what you as the educator are going to see, how you're going to organize your classes. As you can see, I've already created a class by clicking the Add Class button. I've titled this one 516. It gives you a class code that you are going to send to your students so they can access the shell that you've put together. So right now we can view or edit the courses. So this is what I've assigned so far. I've assigned the Checkology 101 for high school. This is made up of like 15 modules. It sort of goes over the basic elements of media literacy. We can see what's up next. This is info zones. This is actually one of the modules I did for my recent technology-rich lesson plan. It was super engaging. We can actually see kind of what it looks like right now. Click Start. Get started. Click Play.
Did that feel familiar? It's an overwhelming amount of information, isn't it? Hi, I'm Tracy Potts, and I'm a reporter covering national and international news for NBC News here in Washington, D.C. In this lesson, you'll learn how to sift through all that content by using a simple technique we call zoning information. Knowing how to sort through content is a foundational skill of news literacy. In fact, it's a great first step in determining the credibility of information. This step is more important than...
So I'm not going to play the whole video. You can watch it for yourself. Again, one of my favorite things about Checkology is that it is absolutely free to use. a lot of these videos are highly produced. They are made with reputable professional journalists. So after you finish watching this video, you can click next, and you'll actually have some form of formative assessment for your students to use. So in this case, they're asking the student to describe something that's been verified. And so it's giving them a look at verification and how they can engage in verification or ensuring that things have been verified as they're consuming media. So some other features that we didn't go over, but I think are really cool, is the word wall. This is essentially a pre-made list of vocabulary that has to do with media and news literacy. You can do what you will with that. I think it's great to have just sort of a compiled list of vocabulary students will be using and need to use to talk about media literacy. There's also an area for discussion posts, so maybe you already use Padlet or Grid for your discussions. This is just one more resource you have for hosting class discussions on what students are learning. And then there's the Checker Center, which is basically a way for the teacher, the educator, to upload a piece of media and have students fill out assessments on a piece that the teacher picked out. So another great way to kind of like allow the teacher to be creative and modify the content. And finally, some cons of using this tool. This isn't necessarily something I feel, but I know doing some research, some people have mentioned that maybe the lessons are a bit repetitive or there's too much overlap within them. And then the other kind of con that I thought of was that a lot of this is outsourced instruction. So if you're a teacher who really likes being the instructor and delivering direct instruction, there's not a whole lot of room for that because the pre-made videos created by the journalists sort of fulfill that role. So those are two kind of cons that I came up with. But overall, I think generally Checkology is an amazing resource. I hope you learned a thing or two about the resource today. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. This is a tool that I'm actually genuinely very excited about and would love to see more teachers utilize in the classroom or in the school library. So thank you again for listening, and I will talk to you soon.